Dennis Jernigan, Giant Killers, Part 7, The Son of Dreams for the Future. Chapter 28, Visions and Dreams. One of the most important things I have discovered is the value of knowing where I want to go. Sounds simple, but many people have no idea where they want to end up. I'm thankful that God revealed to me the danger of aimlessness and the benefit of living with a sense of direction and purpose. Nevertheless, I encourage you to look beyond your current problems toward the place of spiritual health and achievement to which God is leading you. In faith, trust that you can move past the sin or other spiritual problem in your life. Believe that you can do more than survive, you can thrive. You can accomplish great things for God in the years remaining to you on this earth. If I want to learn a skill such as guitar playing, I set goals for myself. The same principle I apply to my everyday life is one I have applied to my spiritual identity. I have to have a target to shoot for. When the Lord set me free, I immediately began to set goals for myself in a spiritual sense. I determined that I would never get anywhere if I did not know where I wanted to go. And for me, the end of the journey was knowing Jesus intimately and being set free from all my past failures. Well, since I wanted to be free, I headed for freedom. I did not know what my first step should look like, so I just did what I knew to do and headed toward Jesus. After all, no journey can begin unless the first step is taken, and I can't think of a better direction to step than toward Jesus Christ. One of the first questions I asked myself was this: when I get to the end of life, what would I like to have accomplished? If I didn't ponder the answer to this question, I could easily have filled up my time with second and third rate uses of my energies, and so the years would dribble away. At the end of it all, I would taste the bitterness of regret. Another question that helped me was this: will I stand before my Father and rejoice that I stepped out in faith, or will I stand in shame knowing I didn't even try? I decided I would try. I am weak myself, but in Christ I am strong. I believed then, and I believe now, that God honors those who boldly seek to fulfill His will for their lives. Better to try and fail, and then try again, and perhaps fail again, than never to try at all. The next question I asked to help me define my journey's final destination was this: what are the limitations that could keep me from fulfilling my dreams? I could think of many possible limitations, yet as I set out on the journey toward freedom, I decided that God, rather than the obstacles that stood in my way, would be the determining factor in what I achieved. Would I allow a lack of money to keep me from my goals? Certainly not. A lack of money does not decide my fate. I trust God, the great provider, to make a way where there seems to be no way. Would I allow a lack of time to determine my final destination? No way. If there doesn't seem to be enough time to go around, then maybe I need to allow the Father to help me reprioritize my efforts. Will I allow a lack of abilities to keep me from realizing my dreams? If I have a vision or a dream from the Lord, then I should make the necessary sacrifices to acquire whatever ability I need to fulfill that dream. Will I allow the expectation of others to keep me from any dreams? If I had listened to the voices from my old life, I would have given up in defeat. What else? Fear of man? Man did not die for my sins or set me free. Fear of failure? The greatest success in life are born of failures along the way. Location? I will go wherever the Father sends me. Resources? My God's the maker of it all. The bottom line, we limit ourselves by not dreaming big as our Father does. We must learn to see obstacles to our dreams and visions the way we view the giants in our lives. We have to see our lives and our circumstances from the top of the mountain, where our Father is trying to take us. Chapter 29. A runner who runs. The best runners are the ones who set goals for themselves and then head for those goals no matter how far or difficult they may seem. Daily practice of running builds up my endurance for the day for the day will come when I will be attacked by those opposed to my stand for righteousness, and I will respond with endurance rather than being overwhelmed because I train each and every day. We have to train every day our fellowship with Jesus, our perseverance, our boldness, because if we try to do this only in the weekday, on the bad day, we are going to be overwhelmed by the circumstances because we have to have a life of practice. We have to practice every single day our 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 spiritual skills. Yes, I fall many times in life's race, but I do not allow the enemy to use such stumbles to cause me to give up or alter my course. I do not plan to fall, but I do have a plan for the times when I may fall. I will rise and turn back toward Jesus no matter what, and I will run toward Him with all my might. I look inside. 1. Am I running the race God has laid out before me? If not, why not? 2. How can I build up endurance? 3. How can I keep running when my strength is gone or my hopes have been shattered? Chapter 30. The Goals of My Life. Healing is a journey, and a successful journey is really progress toward a series of goals established beforehand. Where did I begin? I began where I would end, with God. I knew I needed His Word, His Spirit, and His might to get me where I wanted to go. And I really like when Dennis Jernigan talked about we have a goal, and then we have a lot of frames. We have a lot of small goals, so we can achieve the big goals, and something very practical. I like when the authors they are practical about what they are teaching. I also began to learn that if God had truly made me a new creation, then I had His mind. He will reveal truths to me as a creation that unspiritual people could never comprehend. I have learned to be deliberate and orderly about how I set my goals. Once a year, I sit down and determine my goals. Of course, I know I will need to revise and add to my goals in the course of the year, but setting aside a specific time to focus on my goals is helpful to me. I first seek God to determine what His vision for my life is, then I build my visions and dreams around them. I also tell others, my wife and close friends, what my goals are, allowing them the freedom to ask me about them from time to time. More often than not, I do not wait for them to ask me about my goals and my programs toward meeting them. I give them updates frequently and ask them to pray for me and hold me accountable. I look inside. 1. What goals must I set to my dreams come to pass? 2. What time frames will I set for my goals? 3. What and who can help me achieve my goals? Chapter 31. Limits and priorities. And in this chapter, he's going to talk about the setbacks, because although you are walking out from a situation of sin and failure, you probably are going to faint and despair, and you are going to fall along the way because you are still learning how to walk and be consistent on that. But meanwhile, we are going to be tempted to give up, to give in, to look back, and in some moments we are probably going to fall. But the word says that the righteous one can fall, but he will rise up 7 times more. But in these moments of setbacks, what are we supposed to do? Are we going to give in and give up? No, we have to think that we have fallen, but we can rise up and we can follow from where we were. We don't have to worry about what people are going to think, and we don't have to give the devil a foothold in our mind, because he is going to accuse us and says that it's over for us. that there is no way out, and this is our destiny, and we are this is our fate. He's going to say that this is our fate, but we don't have to accept that. A setback or even a failure is not a reason to quit. I see both as springboards to deeper places in God's creative heart. Because when we are in moments of failure and miserable in life, we search for Him. We look God more deeper, and more intimately. So when there are these situations, we are going to use those as springboards for us. A look inside. 1. What circumstances, if any, have made me feel like giving up lately? 2. What is God's vision for my life as His child? 3. How could my limitations serve as springboards to greater levels of God's creativity in and through me? Chapter 32. When dreams fall apart. All of us will face times in our lives when the plans and hopes and dreams we have held for ourselves or others unravel. Sometimes death puts us an end to a friendship we always thought would be there. Sometimes people grow apart or move away. Sometimes bad stuff just happens. If a vision is from God, though, nothing can keep it from fulfillment. If a vision is from God, though, nothing can keep it from fulfillment. The fulfillment just may not be what we had perceived with our fallible human minds. When obstacles block my way, I choose to believe God rather than my circumstances, and I do what I can, like the ant prepared for the winter it knows is coming. I work toward my goals even when it does not seem necessary, because I want to be ready when the time for completion is at hand. I try to live for today, but know who holds the future. I believe that the devil has a scheme, but God has a plan. So I plan to keep running the race even when I fall along the way. Above all, I see Christ as the ultimate goal I am trying to achieve. I seek Him in faith along the way. I want to know Him because to know Him is fulfillment and satisfaction like nothing else. I have learned that waiting on God does not mean doing nothing. We cannot wait for life to happen, or it will pass us by. You can have all the visions in the world, but see none of them come to pass if you do nothing about them. You will reap what you sow. Sow the visions of your heart on the soil of your resources and abilities, and then trust God to make them grow to maturity. And one thing I really like about Dennis Jernigan is that he doesn't put all the responsibility in God, that God's going to do everything for us, but he puts the accountability and the responsibility on us. Because if God has put dreams and visions inside of our hearts, we have to sow them with the abilities and skills He has already put in our hands. God is a big God, so dream big. Dreams can be simple or complex. In dreaming and achieving our goals, it is vital that we always remember who and whose we are. What others see on the outside should merely be a reflection of what is taking place on the inside of our hearts. We always have a choice as to how we respond to life, and life is better enjoyed by dreaming and heading toward the goal set before us, that of knowing Christ on an intimate level. The goal of having my life and mind so transformed that was once homosexual is now heterosexual. The goal of overcoming my bitterness toward those who have used me. The goal of seeing despair turn to joy, impatience to patience, harshness to gentleness, anger to peace, worry to trust. I look inside. 1. What are my plans for those times when my dreams or visions come under attack? 2. Where will I go for strength when I am weary from waiting to see my dreams come to pass? And 3. What will I do if God changes my course? Yes, and be blessed in the practice of the words. Yeah.